Hmm?
It's almost done.
Well, it's 6:45.
Oh, I can't see it.
It's glare. We do. I'll call this council public hearing to order. Please stand for the pledge. Scott, would you lead us, please?
Sure thing. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Kathy, roll, please.
Carter. Walter. Howe.
Here.
Barstow.
Here.
Hayes. Pickens.
Here.
Lee.
Here. Okay, we just barely have a quorum present. The following amendment will be considered tonight at this public hearing. An amendment to Chapter 1315 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Pataskala and repeal all other ordinances and parts of the ordinances in conflict therewith. What do you got for me, Scott?
All right, thank you, Mayor. As you mentioned, this is an amendment to Chapter 1315, Unsafe Structures of the Pataskala Code. So, in a nutshell, it would make the following changes. So, it would correct a discrepancy in the time allotted to demolish a building, provide provisions for emergency demolitions, and edit terminology to remain consistent. So, for the demolition timeframes, our demolition regulations state that a demolition permit is valid for 90 days. So folks have 90 days to demolish a building. And unsafe structure, section 1315.06 aligns with that and also says 90 days. However, in section 1315.03, it only gives 60 days. So the proposed amendment would align all those to 90 days. The provisions for emergency demolition in a nutshell, the building inspector, which is defined as a city administrator or their designee, would determine that a building or structure poses an imminent danger. Hearing would be held by council within 15 days, wherein the council would determine if the building or structure should be demolished. If this is approved, the city would move forward and have, appropriate labor or contracts in order to have that structure removed. At that point, a lien would be placed on the property for the cost of the demolition plus 50%. The property owner has the right to provide testimony at the council hearing and also to appeal to the Court of Common Pleas. And the final item, in reviewing that section of the code, it uses the terminology owner and landowner interchangeably. So went through and changed all of those discrepancies to owner and updated the title of the definition in the existing chapter to align with that. And I would be happy to answer any questions.
Scott, in an instance where the city has made that determination and there's 90 days given, up to 90 days given, I assume that means we can move faster.
Correct. In the current, if someone said, I have a house on my property, I want to demolish it, they get the permit and it's valid for 90 days where they can go through, demolish it, remove everything, reseed, regrade, and everything. With the provisions in this chapter, if it's an emergency, the city could move faster. It has to be, the hearing has to be held within 15 days. So if this happened, on a Friday or arguably the following Monday, council could consider the emergency demolition of a structure.
And I don't remember, thank you, and I don't remember, is there an option for an owner to demolish their own structure after we've declared it an emergency?
They have the opportunity. I think what we would do before declaring it an emergency, we would go to the property owner and say, we have an issue, we need you to get this down. If they don't want to do it, the emergency provision would be kind of a safety net for the city that if the property owner was unwilling to do so, we could have it done.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions concerning this about demolition? Well, thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
Okay, any public comments concerning this particular ordinance? Okay, nobody's in the demo? All right, very good. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Barstow,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Powell. Discussion and roll.
Powell,
Yes.
Barstow.
Yes.
Chicken.
Yes?
Lee.
Yes.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Next meeting in 10 minutes.